guys, and welcome to Vegan Beauty Girl. So today we are going through 10 vegan foundations who have over 20 foundation shades. I'm filming this video to help you guys find more diverse vegan foundations. Unfortunately, I do feel like 20 is quite a low bar, but if I wanted top 10, this is kind of where I had to hit. As we go through the list, let me know down below if I've missed off your favourite. I've done something a bit different this time around. I don't normally include brands with parent companies in stuff like this, and that's just because me personally, I don't want to support a cruelty-free brand who has a non-cruelty-free parent company. It's in like my FAQs on my blog, so I'll leave a link to that down below. So just a quick disclaimer, I will be talking about some brands who have some non-cruelty-free parent companies, but I'll be sure to give that full disclosure when we talk about them. And the reason that I think it's important to do that with this very particular video is that I have an incredible white privilege luxury in the fact that I have never ever struggled to find my shade in any foundation. Never ever. And I know how important it is to have the right foundation as well, and you just may not be able to limit yourself to brands which are same level of cruelty free as what I'm looking at, because I have pretty much every option. So I think it would be very unfair to tell people they can't shop from a brand that has actually bothered to cater to their skin tone when I can't offer up an alternative that is like my preferred level of cruelty free. We'll have that layer of disclosure as we go through. We're going to start with the brands with the most shades and work our way down, or should I be doing the top 10 the other way? I want to start off super helpful, but we've got some stuff really across the price range in this video. So we've got some stuff which is over 30 quid, and there's even a foundation which is only a fiver. In case that language didn't already tell you, I am going to be focusing on what is available in the UK. So first off, I've made myself a list, so I might be looking at my phone, but first off we have Pear Love Your Selfie. This comes in 100 shades. That is a lot of shades, possibly an overwhelming number of shades. It's £32. It's a reasonably recent launch. They have been doing a lot of work to make sure they've got more foundations available. They kind of saw Fenty and decided to make some changes. So the Pear Love Your Selfie Longwear Foundation and Concealer is medium to full coverage. It's described as an all-in-one skincare infused longwear foundation and concealer that blurs the look of imperfections. I've not used this one myself. I have used a couple of other products from Pear, and I do like that they're a brand that infuse skincare with makeup, and I'm happy to see that they're moving forward with their foundations. They are making progress, and I'm keen to see that continue. So I'm editing this video and I've realised I have totally missed out Uoma Beauty, and that is so wrong. So I'm adding them in as a bonus entry right now. They are a US brand. They are a very new brand to me. I've not tried their products before, but they are available in the UK. They come in 51 shades, which is a lot. It puts them in second place on this list. Yeah, I really recommend you go check them out. I am keen to review them on my Vegan Foundation series ASAP, so hopefully I'll have a bit more information for you guys very soon on the brand. It is a black owned company as well. If you are interested in discovering more black owned beauty companies, I have recently done a blog post all about that, so I'll leave that link down below as well. So next up we have the lady that started it all. We are talking about Fenty. Fenty has 50 shades. I believe they launched with 40. I really remember it being called like the Fenty 40, and it just set a whole new standard for the industry. I wish this video was 10 vegan foundations over the 40 threshold, but sadly there weren't enough that I was aware of, so let me know more. So Fenty is owned by Kendo. Before we even get onto that level of it, it is worth saying that Fenty is self-proclaimed cruelty-free, but Logical Harmony, who is arguably the leading cruelty-free blogger, has listed Fenty under a grey area on her website, and I'll read out why that is. So this is straight from the Logical Harmony website. Fenty is on the grey area list here on her Logical Harmony and has been for some time. They are not on the Logical Harmony cruelty-free brand list. I do not promote them as cruelty-free or as a brand who tests on animals. Their status is simply unclear at this time. While the IG bio and website FAQs say that Fenty is cruelty-free, they have not been able to answer clarifying questions required to be listed as cruelty-free here on Logical Harmony. When I have followed up with them beyond receiving initial vague statements, I have not received a response. Brand transparency is incredibly important to me and something I push for with all brands. In this day and age, consumers are more mindful with their purchases. I think it's important to be able to meet that expectation. All other Kendo brands have been able to provide very clear and detailed statements, as well as answer additional questions and provide the necessary information to be Logical Harmony approved as cruelty-free. That is why it stands out to me that Fenty has not. That said, even though they are not on the Logical Harmony cruelty-free brand list, because they market themselves as cruelty-free, I felt it was important to address their expansion plans. I would absolutely love for Fenty to be Logical Harmony approved, and I know a lot of you would as well. I have continued to reach out to them but with no response. There's only so much I can do, as I cannot force a brand to respond. Want to help? Please let Fenty know that you would like to see them be Logical Harmony approved. And I do think that is really important. So whilst I am including them on this list, it is mostly because I know that Fenty was groundbreaking, and if you struggle to find a foundation shade anywhere else and you want to shop cruelty free, I completely understand you wanting to shop with Fenty because they have self-claimed themselves as cruelty free, but I personally have not used their products or really recommended them because they are Logical Harmony grey listed and they haven't been able to answer her questions. So that's kind of like my personal viewpoint on the matter, but again, I can buy whatever fucking foundation I want, so I have that luxury. But yeah, the Fenty foundation really doesn't need much introduction or input from what I've researched, and obviously I've not tried the foundation myself. As I just told you, I'm not 100% comfortable with their cruelty-free status, and beyond that, I'm also not a big fan of Kendo. We'll talk about that a bit more later on because we've got another Kendo brand coming up on this list. But yeah, with the Fenty Pro Filter foundation, it's 50 shades. It costs £27 and it's described as a soft matte long wear foundation with buildable medium to full coverage in a boundary breaking range of 50 shades. Beyond whether or not it's cruelty free, I just love Fenty for what it did to the beauty industry. I don't think we've seen any launch make such huge impact and get everyone talking about diversity and really challenge brands to do better. So well done, Fenty. So number 3 on the list, we have Makeup Revolution with their Conceal and Define foundation. This one has 50 shades and it is only £10. And to be honest, I'm really excited to get this foundation and try it out after lockdown. I would really love to include it in my vegan foundation review series because I love that it's got so many shades at an affordable price point. And I've heard good things about it as well. People have recommended it to me in the past, so I am definitely very keen to try this one. It's described as offering a lightweight yet buildable coverage. This versatile foundation is designed to suit every skin type and tone. It's vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free and oil-free. Next up we have Charlotte Tilbury with their Airbrush Flawless Foundation. So this one comes in 44 shades and it costs £34. I think this is actually a good time for a disclaimer, like things change, so when I say how many shades I've got, that is correct today. I did my research and the prices are correct today as well, but things can change, so just a quick disclaimer there. Also, Charlotte Tilbury unfortunately recently got bought by Poog? Do you know, I've never heard of this brand before, which is ridiculous because I've been doing this like beauty blogging for quite a while now. Yeah, they're called Poog. The words are going to be up here because I can't pronounce it. And sadly, they are not cruelty free. So with much disappointment, I will not be purchasing any more Charlotte Tilbury products and I will avoid recommending them in regular videos. But this foundation describes itself as Charlotte's new innovative foundation and is the secret to a flawless, poreless looking confident complexion. A stay all day weightless full coverage formula with a natural matte finish. Yeah, I think it's also interesting to note that a lot of the foundations with a huge number of shades do tend to be higher coverage, and one of the reasons this is that low coverage foundations kind of have a little bit more give to them. So a low coverage foundation can kind of suit a broader range of skin tones than a full coverage, so that's why a lot of these recommendations are full coverage foundations, and probably why I haven't used many of them, just because I prefer the low coverage look. I'm really not liking this light today. It is grey outside, really, really grey. Anyway, I digress. So number 5 we have Kat Von D. Oh, it's not Kat Von D anymore. She's left. So it is now KVD Vegan Beauty. Sorry for the confusion. Kat Von D recently left her beauty brand. She split ties and now it is owned by Kendo. A lot of us were pretty happy to see her leave because she was hugely controversial. I will leave some details down below about reasons why people were cancelling her. I also didn't support the brand because of things that Kat had said in the past. So yeah, she's out of the picture now, so it depends on how you sit with Kendo. I'll go into that with a bit more detail shortly, but this one has 44 shades and costs £29, so just like that notch under the £30 mark. So the Look It foundation is described as giving you all the coverage you need to rock a flawless, matte, not flat, canvas that stays waterproof, fade proof and transfer resistant for 24 hours, no touch-ups necessary. I actually did try this foundation. I did buy it for that roughly £30 price mark when it kind of like first launched in the UK, before I kind of realised why the brand was so problematic, and I hated it so much. That's my feedback. But I don't like full coverage, so it was never going to work. Why I bought it is beyond me. I think I thought at the time that full coverage was the one. Wasn't the one. And it smelled like paint. Like, it really smelled like paint. I really did not enjoy it. I think I used it twice, maybe 3 times, just because I spent so much money on it and I couldn't keep using it. I hated it so much. But again, this is coming from a girl who loves her low coverages. What was I doing buying this foundation? So the deal on Kendo, and this is also the parent company for Rihanna's Fenty. So this comes from Cruelty Free Kitty, another leading cruelty free blogger. KVD Vegan Beauty's parent company is Kendo, which by the way is owned by LVMH, which also owns Sephora. Kendo itself is listed as a cruelty free company according to Peter. Kendo mostly owns cruelty-free companies such as Bite Beauty and Ole Henriksen. However, they own Marc Jacobs, and Marc Jacobs sells fragrance in mainland China. Because fragrance is subject to potential animal testing in China, this means that Marc Jacobs does tests on animals where required by law and is not a cruelty-free company. LVMH, who owns Sephora, is also not a cruelty-free company, as they test on animals where required by law. All this to say that KVD Vegan Beauty is owned by a cruelty-free company, but Kendo does own a brand that tests on animals where required by law. So yeah, you understand why I wanted to read that out. Personally, Kendo doesn't sit right with me, but I know a lot of people who aren't bothered by that. So yeah, I always say that buying vegan beauty is easy, but cruelty-free is so hard. It is not a clear-cut definition. There is not one standard definition to it. You kind of have to figure out what sits right for you and shop accordingly, which is why I'm really keen on this sort of transparency we've got going on here. I'm not going to tell you it is or it isn't cruelty-free. I'm just going to give you the information so you can make the choice yourself. I hope that's helpful. I hope you don't think I'm being a bit too nitpicky, but I just really like to have that transparency with you guys. God, I think the sun's trying to come out. Next up, we have the Lush Slapstick, which by the way, I think is the best name for a foundation. If you haven't seen Slapstick before, it kind of looks like an egg. I've done a foundation review on it recently, so I'll leave a link up there for you to check out. I'm a big fan of this. It comes in 40 shades, it costs £17, and it is also like plastic free, zero waste, all the good stuff you'd expect from Lush. So they describe it as a breathable foundation that looks incredible, feels incredible, and does amazing things for your skin. If you want to hear more about the Slapstick, then head over to my review, but mostly I think it is a very good foundation and it is one of my favorites. I'm not wearing it today, but I no longer shade match my foundation. I got a tan and don't match half my foundations. I am a huge fan of Lush. I think that inclusivity and diversity has always been at the heart of the products they create. Right now when I'm filming, we are a couple weeks after the death of George Floyd. We've really been having a massive Black Lives Matter movement globally, which is one of the reasons why I'm filming this video. Whilst I have had a blog post kind of discussing these points before, I thought it'd be really helpful to do a YouTube video as well for anyone that was looking for a vegan foundation which had a few more fucking shades. It's just such a frustrating part of the beauty industry. I just don't understand. Like, Fenty was like 3 years ago now. Why aren't people launching full foundation shades still? I just don't get it. I really can't wrap my head around it, and it really frustrates me. It's been 3 years. People have had the time to catch up, and if it's not been a priority, that says a lot about you as a brand. I don't even remember where I was going with this. I think I was heading in the direction of saying there's a lot going on about brands right now, and I don't want to include much about that in this video just because new information is coming out every day. I will leave a link to the Pull Up or Shut Up. Is it that? The Pull Up for Change Instagram. I've already lost my trail of thought again. The Pull Up for Change Instagram has been incredible for demanding transparency from some of the biggest beauty brands, and I would really recommend going to check them out for a bit more current, up-to-date information. I'll be trying to put more on my blog, but really they are doing so much right now, so I will leave their link down below. So now we're on our 7th foundation, and that is the e.l.f. Flawless Finish. This is one I think I tried a few years back, and maybe I need to try again because I would love to include it in my foundation series too. This one comes in 40 shades and it costs only £7.50, so under a tenner, a lot of shades, and their swatches look pretty good as well. Like, obviously in this video I'm talking about number of shades, and whilst that is a good indicator as to how diverse foundation range is, it's not the be all end all. They still might just not really know what they're doing with undertone. It might just be doing 35 shades of white and 5 of darker tones. You just do not know. So this is just kind of a starting point. Obviously my experience of struggling to find a foundation shade is non-existent as well. But yeah, I do still hope that this is helpful. But yeah, if there's anything more I can give that would be helpful, do let me know down below. So the e.l.f. foundation is lightweight, full coverage, oil-free formula that blends naturally in skin for a beautiful semi-matte finish that lasts all day long. It helps restore uneven skin textures and tones for brighter skin. perfect for all skin types. I must say I hate it when it's perfect for all skin types. Like, I don't really believe that, but it's okay, whatever. I'm happy that you've got 40 shades elf. You can find them in Superdrug, you can find them, I think, even in Boots. Probably not. I don't think I've ever found their foundations in Boots though. Stick with Superdrug or buy from them online. They are super affordable. They are 100% vegan, and they're a US brand that came over to the UK maybe like 4 years ago. It was a good day when they did. It made affordable vegan makeup very achievable for us Brits, so I remember being very happy when e.l.f. first launched over here. I don't even think it was when they first launched. I think they actually used to be over here, stopped being over here, and then they relaunched, and that was when I was really happy about it. Next up we have the Milk Makeup Flex Stick Foundation. So this comes in 36 shades and it costs £32. So this is a foundation I have reviewed recently, so you can go check that out here. I actually really enjoyed it, so I think it'd be really cool to see like my best tricks for applying it because I've used it a lot. However, there are kids playing in the street, so sorry if you can hear them in the background, especially now we're getting to quite a serious point of the video. So I definitely thought that Milk were a great champion brand for diversity, especially when you look at their campaigns, and especially for like a clean vegan beauty brand. Often you do not find a lot of diversity there. I don't know why it's so whitewashed, but that's the sad truth of the matter. So it is really exciting when you see their campaigns. It does seem like they are a lot more diverse than others in the area. However, so this week the ex-creative producer of Milk Makeup spoke about how her life was made a living hell by the VP of marketing and all other white employees who are either complicit or ignorant of what was happening around them. I do really recommend going to read Edelwitt's account of what it was like working at Milk Beauty, because it sounded like she endured a lot of racism. I will leave that detail down below. As I said, I don't want to talk too much about what's happened recently because every day things are uncovering. Like, the reason that Edelwitt even spoke up about this is because Milk put forward such a great looking pull up for change post, and she was just like having none of it. Like, how could you sit by and watch them get applauded for diversity again when you yourself have worked there and know that racism is fucking rife there? So yeah, it is very interesting when you talk about brands, because on the one hand you want your diverse foundation shades, but on the other hand you don't want them to be shitty racists, and it's just really frustrating, like trying to find foundations where the company seems to have good ethics and also a good foundation range, and also being vegan. It's a very small group, basically. It's a very, very small group. But I hope you guys are enjoying me trying to add all this extra information so you can go away and make the most informed decisions when it comes to buying your makeup. Number 9, we have Barielle's All Night Long Foundation. This comes in 38 shades and it is $7.99. You can find it in Superdrug. It is described as a smooth, creamy formula which is easy to blend and feels lightweight on the skin. It's got antioxidizing fruit extracts and vitamin E to moisturize, and it's also paraben free. Barielle aren't hugely problematic, but in my Let's Talk About Race video, you can kind of see me taking a bit of a look at what they posted on their Instagram regarding Black Lives Matter, and it was all a bit wishy-washy, half-assed, just didn't seem at all sincere, caring, or into the movement at all. I am going to take some time to email them over the next week and kind of see if they've got any actions in place on being a better brand. But you'll find that a lot of brands that are stocked in Superdrug actually have good shade ranges, and when I say good, I do mean over 20, and this is because of their Shades of Beauty campaign, which I think they started maybe 2017, but I talk about that campaign quite a bit in my Let's Talk About Race video as well, so it's definitely worth checking out, because that campaign was a great example of a brand in power using that power to make an actual good concrete impact, which just said like, hey, you can't be stocked in our stores if you don't reach this minimum bar, and I think that's incredible. It's one of the reasons I'm a big fan of Superdrug. So yeah, I haven't tried this Barielle foundation either. I'm in two minds about whether or not I want to review it. It kind of depends on what they come back with when I email them, if they do come back to me. They aren't a brand I've actually had an open dialogue with before, so fingers crossed. And then the final brand I'm including is Makeup Academy's Pro Base Foundation, which is the cheapest on the list as it only costs £5. It comes in 24 shades. I have done a foundation review of it and it is really good for anyone with oily skin. I am also a fan of it, and I kind of go through how best to wear it for someone who is like less oily skinned, I guess. I do have combination skin and I do get an oily T-zone, but there are some tricks on making their matte foundation a little bit dewier. But yeah, it is an award-winning full coverage long wear foundation with a matte finish. It is formulated with vitamin E and it is paraben free. It blends easily for shine control that lasts all day. I'd agree with that. I would also say about MUA, just as like my 2 cents, which hopefully means something. If you're still watching it, probably does. Whenever I've been to their PR events, they have been incredibly diverse, particularly compared to a lot of the other ones I go to in the vegan space. And I think that just means a lot. I think that's where you can really tell how much diversity means to a brand. Like, who are they gifting products to? Who are they featuring on their Instagram? Who are they inviting to their events? What models do they pick when they do a campaign? I do think that's important. They did make a donation to Black Lives Matter. However, Demi Colleen, who is incredible, I love her, go check her out, pointed out on a recent post that they have 0% black representation at their company. I think something that's really been highlighted over the last couple of weeks is that there is so much more to the conversation, like even beyond foundations. I think the conversation about like racism in the beauty industry is just so deep, and I think I've said this before and I will say it again, I would love to have a certification on diversity basically, and it could be maybe a tiered thing, but something that says like this company has BAME staff at a senior level, something that says that their foundation range is reasonable, something that says they're working with makeup artists, models, influencers who are not just white. But yeah, I'm just saying that the conversation is a lot deeper than what we've covered here today, but hopefully this is a good starting point for anyone trying to find their new favourite vegan foundation. Please do hit like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video. You can follow me on social medias. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, not really Twitter or Facebook, but you can find me, Vegan Beauty Girl, pretty much anywhere. I've got a website. It's been lovely hanging out, and until next time, bye!